Today I'm going to be doing a video on one of several of these witches that I have that I picked up from the Castle of Muskogee when I went there a few years back. Obviously this is made by Gemmy Industries and this is a prototype. Now this is a prototype of the spellcasting witch that was sold at Walmart in 2010. As you can see, this one is actually holding a tray, but it is not supposed to, at least from what I can put together. What I think ended up happening with this was there was some kind of mixing and matching going on, and it ended up with a tray hand instead of a spellbook hand. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a spare spellbook to give this, so it's going to remain with the tray for now, but if I do ever get one, I will give you an update on that. Anyway, like I said, I bought this a few years ago, but I just recently, like meaning yesterday, took this out and fixed it up and cleaned it up. And it did have a fair amount of issues with it from the get-go. Particularly the main issue was these connectors that were going from the base to the torso. There was a connector coming from the torso that was pronged, that is used on items like the Masquerade skeleton and the Coachman skeleton and stuff like that. And then from the base, there was actually just a regular DC connector coming from it. So aside from the actual connectors not even fitting with each other, there was just a bunch of wires off and a whole bunch of other issues. So how it works is there's 4 wires total coming from the base, 2 of which are coming from the adapter jack and then another 2 for the motion sensor, which is in the base. So I now have 2 regular DC connectors coming up from the base through the dress connecting to the torso, and I would have used one of those pronged ones if I had a spare, but I did not, unfortunately. So it's connecting from 2 areas. And I'm also going to attach some photos here to show you what I mean, because I know it can be a little confusing with me explaining it. I might not be doing the best job, but it was just a mess. So once I actually got that figured out, there wasn't too many more issues. I just kind of cleaned it up. And I also want to give a shout out to Chase, who is a buddy of mine who is a lot better at this stuff than me. I probably wouldn't have been able to figure this out if not for him. He helped me test it to see if it was getting power when all the wires were off. He's a super nice guy. His YouTube account is Chase the Inflatable God, so I just had to show him a little appreciation there. Anyway, like I said, after that, not many more issues. The head still works perfectly, not even a split gear. It sounds very quiet. Now, there is actually an eye mechanism in there. I don't know whether or not they're programmed to move on the board, but there's no motor and there's no wiring for it, so I'm going to leave it as is. Anyway, that's basically it for the mechanical and electrical aspect of this. Let's move on to actually taking a look at the detail. So this is a prototype, like I said, and the produced model of this is slightly less detailed. It only has the black, purple, and gray color scheme. But as you can see with this one, there's actually some green added to the mix, which is very nice. And there's a prototype sticker down there. It's got item number 61111. Now, I said before that this is a prototype for the spellcasting witch. I could be completely wrong there. This is speculation, so don't take my word for it. But I just find it highly unlikely that this is supposed to have the tray. And I think if you look at that item number down there, it will be for that particular item and not one of the tray holding witches. And there were 2 versions of that made. One was at BJ's, and then there was the regular one, which was sold at a bunch of places. I think it was online at Spirit. And oh, and this also does have shoes. I don't know if you could see them before, but most of these witches don't have those, but a few of them do, which is a nice touch. I like that a lot better than just having the poles going to the base without any feet. It kind of looks a little silly like that. But it's also got this cobweb design with sparkles. Now, the sparkles get all over the place, which is really annoying. That's really my only issue that I have to bring up with this. I'm probably going to have to vacuum around here after concluding this review. But aside from that, it's a very, very cool item. And that's really all I have to say. I'm going to plug it in and show it to you. The phrases are nothing special at all. It's just, you know, there's something spooky out tonight, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately. And it does have a full board in it. It's not an EEPROM, which maybe I can try to get a look at it in a minute. But yeah, after I go through all the phrases once, I'll show you the back of it because there are actually a few things that I did not mention yet that are notable. All right, so let's get this plugged in. And it uses a 6-volt adapter, which I have here. And I believe it's switched on, so it'll go right away as soon as it's plugged in. And there's a sound sensor and a motion sensor in the base.
There's something spooky out tonight, and I think it's you. Have you come for a treat? For a trick? Yet another creature of the night approaches. Welcome to my home, my little victims. My little friends.
All right, so that is all of the phrases. I'm gonna unplug it real quick and show you a few things that I forgot to mention on the opposite side of the item, because I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to see the board from here, but so this is the switch. This is usually where you would plug it in, but like I said, it plugs in from the base for some reason, and the switch does not have any indications or markings. This is on and the other side is off. And I can't really get in there and show you the board, but for some reason the board is blue instead of green. I'm not sure if the produced ones are like that as well, but yeah, that might not even be worth mentioning. I could just sound like a dummy for saying that, but I thought I might as well let it be known to the public. All right, let's plug this in again and we'll go through one last round.
There's something spooky out tonight, and I think it's you. Have you come for a treat? For a trick? Yet another creature of the night approaches. Welcome to my home, my little victims. My little friends.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for this review of a prototype of the Gemmy Industries 2010 spellcasting witch. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.